Hello, everyone, and welcome to the NRW, where nerds rule the world. I'm Heather Hurt. That's KAYFABEYBABY, and we are celebrating the 50th anniversary of Jaws here at the NRW and everywhere on this planet. One of the largest blockbusters of all time. We are going to celebrate it. KAYFABEYBABY and I don't often do reviews on documentaries, but we're really excited to talk about this one. So let's get to the trailer first, and then we'll talk about the movie.
To me, making Jaws was a life-altering experience.
50 years, we're still talking about Jaws.
It was the first blockbuster.
It's this mystical connection between hero and monster.
This started me thinking about a career in movies.
Is there anything that you've never said about Jaws?
Let's find out. We were on the real ocean, and we were way out of our element for 5 months. And we all began going off the deep end, literally.
Okay, attack!
The film was 100 days behind schedule, and 80% of the time the shark didn't work.
There was a strong undercurrent that the studio would close us down.
I was terrified I was going to be fired, but I never once felt like I wanted to quit. And when the film wrapped, I had a full-blown panic attack. But the success was fantastic.
It was sort of life-changing.
It's the film I've seen the most.
It wasn't just a movie, it was a pop culture phenomenon, like that.
It supercharged the language of cinema.
There have been movies made since using CG sharks that aren't nearly as good.
The film that I thought would end my career is the film that began it. Boom, 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 boom.
Dana, Dana, Dana. All right, we are back. If you aren't pumped for Jaws 50, you are probably one of the few people on the planet that have never seen the film. Jaws is what spurned the love and appreciation for sharks all across the planet, even though it did also start a kill spree for a while there. It is literally the reason that I love sharks so very much. And so I am excited to celebrate this, and I'm sure KAYFABEYBABY is as well, because this is Jaws has been known as one of the perfect films. Two of the most perfect films ever written were directed by Steven Spielberg himself, and that is Jaws and Back to the Future. With that being said, and that's by the way, that is not us saying that. That is cinema professionals that say that. So with that being said, KAYFABEYBABY, what were your thoughts when you first were like, when NatGeo was like, hey, you want to watch this?
Oh, definitely. As you said, all the reasons. One of the film legend, classic, perfect film. The making of a legendary film. As we're in front of each other right now talking about a film because we love this industry. So making a documentary about the making of a film, it's what I do. It's what I live and breathe for. So and this classic, I was all in for all the many reasons, as you said, and to learn more. I've read and seen a few things, on this, but this look back also at this time, Spielberg. This is really him. Just kind of, this is his story. This is what made him who he was. Just that insight was just so special. And then from everybody else, legends telling how they were inspired by this was insane. So yeah, but we'll get into that.
Absolutely. And it's just to kind of expand on what KAYFABEYBABY just said, this film is Spielberg's true start. This is his conversation with the audience about how he truly started in film. He had made two big films prior to this. Jaws was his true career starter, but it was far from his very first film that had been released in cinema. But it's also where relationships like his and George Lucas really grew. That's when John Williams really made his big name with just literally two notes. And It's Jaws is the inspiration for much of modern cinema. James Cameron was sitting there. What's really cool is he was talking about it from a aquatic perspective, because he's made many aquatic films, and he is an avid diver. He was an avid diver at this time. They looked at it from the purview of shark specialists and scientists. They talked about what happened and how Peter Benchley's book became a film and the start of what was true franchising of films. Even though it had started prior to this, this was really where modern franchises began, was right here in 1975. And it talks about, one of the great things that it talks about is physical effects versus practical effects versus graphics, and what we really see in all of the detriment that went into making this film, but also all the great things. We get to see Martha's Vineyard. They talk about it. They talk about the benefits. So I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to gush about this documentary. I'm just going to do nothing but I'm going to do nothing but gush about Jaws. Even the bad shit, I gush about Jaws. With that being said, KAYFABEYBABY, I just gave a little bit of the background of the documentary. What were your thoughts once you watched it?
Again, absolutely loved it. After watching it, looking forward to planning a trip to Martha's Vineyard. Already talked to my wife. We want to jump off the bridge. Well, she doesn't want to jump off the bridge. I want to jump off the Jaws bridge. I just want to see all the things. I want to visit the little shop. We got to hear a story through the documentary from that one of the kids that was in the film. His brother now running a shop. That young man, well, as he got older, he's passed now, so he's carrying on the legacy with the shop. Want to visit that shop, hopefully meet that guy. Just want to do all the things. Jaws. I love visiting film locations, so that is something that I left with. Just my appreciation for Steven Spielberg, and just appreciation for creatives and drive and never giving up. Underlying message, despite everything that happened, being over budget, extending out the film time, just all of that, never giving up, and then what it can do for you later on. He sacrificed a lot of himself for this. Just the inspiration, the wanting us to live at that time, man. He was working with George Lucas, John Milius, just all the people that were a part of this. Just was, as a film fan, a film industry fan, just loved all of that insight. Again, never giving up. It just increased my love for the genre, for the film industry even more, and just all the lessons learned. But just, I hope it just reminds people, just never give up, and also seek help when, this, one of the stories that I never knew, like he said that I learned through the course of this film is years after the film wrapped and everything, he would be on the lot and just would find time to leave by himself and go onto the ride, be behind everybody else, and then just kind of his own self-therapy. He just lay on the boat or whatever, just that actually using the filming, and just needed to sit there to help collect himself. That was his form of self-therapy, and I just thought that was amazing to hear and share, that we all go through problems, things can build up and stress, and so that was just an amazing thing to hear. Yeah, just really well done. Bravo to everybody that put this together, getting all the talent involved to speak on this. Yeah, I just hope we can get more 50th anniversaries. I want a Back to the Future 50th. I need more of these film legend classics that affected so many people to get the whole full story on. And yeah, just a really well done documentary, Heather.
Absolutely, and I agreed. I do like that it starts with the writing of Peter Benchley's writing. They go back into how he came up with the story, how he came up with the name. I do love that they go back in time in 1974, technically pre-1974 when because the book came out in 74, and they talk about about the realism. I really love that. They talk briefly about the relationship between Scheider, Shaw, and Dreyfuss. And by the way, I'm going to put this down. Steven Spielberg says that one actor came up and said something very, very mean to him. And I'm going to say that it was probably Robert Shaw. I really think that it was Robert Shaw who said something like that. But he also had the history and the reality of of Hollywood at his back. So I could understand why someone with his type of filmography would say something like that. If I was going to put money down anywhere, I would say it would be Robert Shaw would say that something like that to him. But the PTSD element to this film could absolutely respect that, that Spielberg came out and talked on it, the mental impact of it. And one thing, but there are a couple of things that I wish that they did talk more on. As we know, Peter Benchley,
this could have been a series, like a mini series.
I would have loved it to be a series, absolutely. Like this, the reason this is primarily a movie is Steven Spielberg is he is talking to the audience. This is his conversation with the audience about this film, and it seemed almost cathartic a little bit while he was talking, and I hope it was. But one thing I would have loved is Peter Benchley spent a long time after this film was made advocating for sharks, and they kind of only glaze over the conservation of sharks at the end. I have been very lucky to talk to NatGeo specialists about the impacts that Jaws and other films like it have caused on the shark community. And I do wish that they talked a little bit more about it, and especially since not just Benchley spent his lifetime on the conservation element, but Steven Spielberg has talked about it. You've seen John Williams, I believe, did make a comment about it here and there, and I think so did Lucas. But a couple people have made comments about the impact that Jaws had on the shark population, which almost put great whites to a point of extinction. Like, it was bad. So I would have liked, from a Nat Geo perspective, I would have liked them to talk a little bit more about how Jaws has both. They talked about how it negatively impacted, but I would have also loved to hear how it's also positively impacted shark conservation. Because it has. One of the really cool things about this film is, once again, it drove the love and appreciation of sharks. They're my genuine favorite fish. I love sharks to death. I've said this before on this channel. There are two ways I'm going to die. One, a stranger in a black van, a windowless van, comes up and says, "Hey, get in, we're watching Paddington 2." And two, someone says, "Hey, do you want to go swimming with the sharks?" 100%. I'm already in the water. And I'm not talking about with a cage. I'm in the water already. So with that being said, I would have loved them to talk more about that, but that's kind of it. Everything else about this documentary, I absolutely loved. They had great perspectives. They had people who both know and did not know him. They talked about his homages. He talked about Kubrick. He talked about a whole bunch of other people that really inspired him to make this film, and then vice versa. They talked about people who were inspired by this film and by Spielberg's work. And I love that they kind of did that crossover. Once again, this is just a love fest for Shark Fest. This basically, by the way, Shark Fest does begin on July 7th on Nat Geo. And this is just one piece to that greater puzzle. Technically, the 50th anniversary was on June 20th. But with that being said, we're just always going to celebrate Jaws. You can still pick up the book today. Definitely read it if you never have. And definitely watch all of the original and all of the goofy ass follow-ups to it. The franchise is wonderful. Definitely check it out. QP, any final thoughts?
Go see Jaws. Dive back in. If it's been a while since you've seen it, dive back in. Absolutely love it. The films. No matter how campy it got, after the second one, it really got campy. 3 and 4, that was kind of weird, but 1 and 2, classic, and then this doc about it, just insane and inspiring. Loved it. Yeah,
absolutely.
Good stuff.
You can see Jaws. We are saying go see Jaws. Many theaters are having specials where you can see it in IMAX again, where you can. We had a trivia night yesterday, as of this recording. You can see it at Alamo. I think Alamo Drafthouse is posting a lot of them. So definitely check it out if it's in theaters. If you've never seen it in theaters, definitely go watch it in theaters.
In regards to Alamo, if you live near one of those Alamos that are doing the screenings with the pool and all that, I'm so jelly, because that I know is occurring. They're doing screenings at pools, and you can watch the film in the pool, so you're in the water. I envy you. I'm super jelly. Yeah, because everybody's doing big celebrations, and I can't think of a cooler way than being like a tube and watching the film on the screen and terrifying your friend that's with you or family that's with you. It just seems so much fun.
You know, some asshole kid is definitely going underwater just touching.
Oh yeah,
people's
definitely.
legs.
That's part of the fun. But yeah, I think it's
By the way,
happening
that
a
was-
lot in Texas. Shout out to you, Texan. You're a Texan, Heather.
I'm
You
a
know,
Texan.
I'm super jelly of all those people that are able to see Jaws in the pool right now.
Well, by the way, you can if your community does do movie nights. Jaws is usually available for copyright stream, so you can probably ask and have it done at your pool. But the reason most of them are done in Texas is because, you know, Alamo draft. They're in Texas. But anyway, it's, by the way, I totally think KAYFABEYBABY was one of those kids who did the like touching to freak people, freak out their friends.
Maybe.
It's just like the Jaws. Maybe. Anyway, check out Jaws if you can see it. If you've never seen it on screen, definitely do it. Jaws at 50, the definitive inside story, comes to NatGeo on July 10th and is available to stream on Hulu and Disney Plus on July 11th. Absolutely check it out. We cannot say anything more positive. If you agree, if you disagree, if you wish there was more, tell us in the comments below. Like, subscribe, share, all of those things, and we will talk to you all soon.
Nerds rule the world.
Pleasure chatting with you. Love to all my nerds who rule the world.
Nerds rule the world.
Yes, we do.
Thanks. Nerds rule the world. Thank you.
I love the nerds ruling the world, so more power to you.
Patrick, what up, man? And yes, they do. Nerds rule the world, kid.
Yes,
what
sir.
I'm saying? I'm one of
Thank
them.
you. Awesome. KAYFABEYBABY, nerds rule the world. Hello.
Yes, they do.
Yes.
Oh,
Nerds rule the world.
I got.
It's in the title of your show, like Nerds Rule the World. Like, I want more Black weirdos on screen, and I don't feel like we ever get to see that very much.
Thank you so much. Nerds do rule the world.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you,
rule.
nerds rule.
Love it.
Hello, Sarah. Hello, Julie.
Yes,
Rock on. I love it. Thank you so much.
It's good to see you. I love Nerds Rule the World.
But yeah, there's a heavy nerd component, man.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, if you ask me, nerds rule the world. So
Absolutely.
and you're right, nerds do rule the world.
we're just the best.
Yes.
Thank you, ladies.
Thanks so much.
Yes. Thank you, guys.
Bye.
It's your boy KAYFABEYBABY, Nerds Rule the World. Thank you so much, guys. I appreciate you.
do. They rule the world all right.
Yes. Take care, Tony. Thank you, guys.